When conducting a hypothesis test, we state our null and our alternative hypothesis. The null hypothesis is a statement that the value of a population parameter is equal to some claimed value. This word null indicates no change, no difference. Things are status quo. When we talk about population parameters, we will be talking about the population mean or the population proportion. Our notation for the null hypothesis is this capital H sub 0, and an example of that would be the null hypothesis is that the population proportion is 0.5. That's one way to state a null hypothesis, would be if we wanted to state that the population proportion is equal to 0.5. We test the null hypothesis directly by assuming it's true, and then through testing we decide whether to reject it or fail to reject it. Now, in some statistics texts you will see symbols such as less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to, as well as equal to, these three being used for your null hypothesis. But we will not be doing this. We will not use this one, we will not use this one. So in every case, our null hypothesis will contain exactly this, the equal sign. Okay, let's look at the alternative hypothesis. The alternative hypothesis is the statement that the parameter has a value that somehow differs from the null hypothesis. And our notation here will be H sub 1, although you do see in other texts H sub lowercase a for alternate or H sub uppercase a. But we will be using the H sub 1, but these are also commonly used. So, for example, if our null hypothesis is H sub 0, the population proportion is 0.5, then for our alternate hypotheses we could have H sub 1, the proportion is less than 0.5, or we, depending on what our statement is, what our claim is and what we're trying to show, we could say H sub 1 is that the proportion is greater than 0.5, or that it's just different from 0.5, and the way we would say that is it's not equal to 0.5. These are our three choices we would have for this particular problem, depending on what the claim is, and we'll see that as we go further along. But my point here is to show you that for the null hypothesis always contains the equal sign, always equal. You don't have to think about that, it always will be. For the alternate hypothesis, our choices will be less than, greater than, or not equal to. That's it. We just have to determine which it is. Okay, we'll continue with our discussion on these as we go along.